Boruto Chapter 80 has just released, and Sarada Uchiha has finally unlocked her Mangekyou Sharingan. I just hopped off stream after reading the chapter, and my god, this was a crazy chapter to read, man. I didn't really expect this to come. However, I do want to address Sarada unlocking the Mangekyou first before I go into the review right away, because I've been seeing a lot of people saying that Sarada's Mangekyou was not deserved or more or less underwhelming, and I've got a lot of counterpoints for that. Initially, when I first read it and saw it, I did understand why it happened, considering that throughout the chapter, Sarada was actually starting to break down, and I feel like a lot of people are going to look at it from face value from this chapter alone, but as a matter of fact, from the events that happened prior, ever since the battle against Code, where to be honest with you, with all the stuff that Sarada has been suffering from, this was just the end of her unlocking the Mangekyou. The build-up of her unlocking the Mangekyou Sharingan has been building up for the past couple of chapters. In my opinion, I just feel like people are looking at this awakening from a very close-minded view from just this chapter alone. I definitely do understand some criticisms, but I feel like a lot of people are overreacting and just misunderstanding the Uchiha clan as a whole. And that's the one thing I really want to address in this chapter review. So of course, with Boruto Chapter 80, everyone finds out that Naruto was quote-unquote killed by Boruto. Of course, Sarada was not affected by the omnipotence, as stated per Momo's words in Chapter 79. So with that being said, she is one of the very few characters who actually knew the truth about what happened between Boruto and Kawaki. We slowly see her kind of break down once she does receive the news that, yo, Naruto was killed by his own goddamn son. We see the terror on her face. You know, I've been critiquing Ikimoto here and there, but I gotta give credit where credit's due. I think the lead up to her Mangekyou Sharingan awakening, especially with the feelings that she was understanding, essentially the 5 stages of grief, was excellent. In terms of the improvement of Sarada breaking down in terms of emotion, trying to understand what's actually happening since she's receiving all of this news at once, man, it was actually great to read. When I was reading this chapter live on stream for the first time, I was pointing out that Sarada was having these quick facial expressions trying to understand what's going on. From her finding out that Naruto was killed by Boruto, to her confronting Sasuke, why is Sasuke trying to kill Boruto when she knows the truth, and now that Boruto's being forced to go down this route with him being hunted down, Sarada is continuing to break down over and over again, and she even says, please just listen, dad, to the first and only selfish favor I'll ever ask, please help Boruto. And we see her unlock the Mangekyou, and at that point Sasuke does realize Sarada may know something that I don't know about. That's why we see Sasuke take Boruto out of the situation and try to talk it out, since Sarada is the one who's requesting for Boruto to be helped. Sasuke still suspects that Boruto is still the enemy here, but since Sarada is requesting it, and from the emotion that she unlocked it from, he understands that something is still up. Some of the stuff that people were saying about Sarada unlocking the Mangekyou Sharingan was just outright outlandish. People were comparing her unlocking the Mangekyou to the likes of Itachi, Sasuke, Madara, Shitsui, which deservedly so, since those are legendary Uchiha characters, but what I don't think people realize is that those characters grew up in the Warring States. Not only that, the way the Uchiha clan has developed their Sharingan was manipulated by Black Zetsu. Black Zetsu literally trained the Uchiha to rely on hate through the tablet that he altered to manipulate everything to continue the cycle. I think this is something that a lot of people just forget when looking at Sarada's awakening compared to everybody else's, which I do understand from a basic standpoint, but when you look at the context of the story, it's completely different. Sarada is a completely different Uchiha compared to the warring era Uchiha such as Madara, and even the likes of, you know, young Sasuke, Itachi, Shisui, who were in constant warfare even during their time, considering that, yo, she's a 12-year-old girl growing up in a time of peace. I know a lot of people are using whataboutism, stating that, yo, if Sarada unlocked it this way, why didn't every Uchiha unlock it the same exact way that Sarada did when they were fighting each other? And well, that's because you're comparing grown-ass men in a warring state to a 12-year-old girl growing up in a peaceful time. I know a lot of people are going to bring up Itachi, but Sarada and Itachi are completely different characters, and I think that's the most important part, considering that, as I mentioned before, Black Zetsu manipulated the entire history of the Uchiha clan with how people awaken the Mangekyou Sharingan. Of course, to awaken the Mangekyou Sharingan, it must be unlocked through strong feelings, but since Zetsu manipulated the entire history and lore of unlocking the MS through hate, that's how it was usually awakened, and not many characters awakened it to begin with. In fact, the MS was a pretty rare thing to unlock, even among the Uchiha. Of course, with Sarada, this is a completely different character, and if you actually look and understand what she's been through, especially when she first initially unlocked her Sharingan, going back to Naruto Chapter 701, 702, which are the Naruto Gaiden chapters with like Shin Uchiha and stuff, if you look at how Sarada Sarada unlocked her Sharingan then, it's pretty damn consistent considering that, as I mentioned before, the Uchiha unlocked their Sharingan out of hatred, and now that curse was broken thanks to Naruto, Sasuke taking out Zetsu, and since Zetsu was killed and the cycle of hatred that was destroyed, Sarada is a completely different Uchiha compared to every other Uchiha character that was faced to go through tons of hatred when they were in their warring era. Now I understand people wanted to see Sarada unlock her Mangekyou when Sasuke is going to get killed by Momoshiki or something like that, because to be honest with you, that's how I've always saw it coming. I thought Sasuke was going to get killed by Boruto or Momo and Sarada would see an unlock her MS, but to be honest with you, when you think about it, compared to the Uchiha that have unlocked their MS, unlocked it out of rage and hate and went on a crazy rampage, if Sarada did that same exact thing compared to these past Uchihas, it would have contradicted what was established at the end of the Naruto series. And when you look at Sarada's character, to be honest with you, she is the embodiment of Naruto and Sasuke after their battle at the Valley of the End. After their second fight around, Sasuke of course is the genetics that Sarada was passed down to, and Naruto is the hope that Sarada is. She wants to become just like him. And when you look at the development of Sarada unlocking the Sharingan, it's always been through love and care about others, specifically about their loved ones, and in this case with the Mangekyou Sharingan, about Boruto and Naruto. Let's go through it, man, because I think a lot of people are forgetting. Sarada first unlocked her Sharingan in excitement in meeting her father, and then following in the progression of her Sharingan, when she unlocked the second Tomo Sharingan was in the battle against Deepa. This was in the anime filler, anime canon, whatever you want to refer to, when she protected Boruto from the blast since she thought he was going to die. She awakened the second Tomo basically out of love and in protection of Boruto. Of course with the third Tomo, this was shown in the manga. This was kind of skipped over. Same thing goes for the anime. They basically retconned it once they got around to the Boro fight, and in my opinion I think they don't really need to show the third Tomo, because to be honest with you, we've seen Uchiha users go from the second Tomo straight to the Mangekyou, such as with Obito and Kakashi. But following the Mangekyou, there was a lot of build-up that happened for Sarada to unlock the Mangekyou Sharingan in this chapter. Ever since the battle against Code, let's not forget Sarada and Mitsuki weren't there. After they found out that Boruto was quote-unquote killed by Code, since that was the lie fed to both Sarada and Mitsuki, Sarada kind of just took responsibility. She stated that she regretted that she wasn't there to have the ability to protect Boruto and make sure that he doesn't get injured or even killed again. Even finding out that Boruto getting killed initially in battle is ginormous news. Let's not forget, Boruto and Sarada are best friends. As a matter of fact, you can even argue they're lovers. With her unlocking Mangekyou, it's like, okay, she heard that Boruto apparently got killed by Code, and then after she actually finds the truth about it, that her other teammate, the person that she essentially looked over, Kawaki, Boruto's brother, was the one who actually killed Boruto and is wanting to do it again. And then in chapter 78, when Sarada tries to confront Kawaki about it, she tries to fight him, but as we saw, Kawaki instantly speed blitzes Sarada, and because of Sarada's inability and basically weakness to fight Kawaki, Boruto gets the scar and did lose his right eye. From that alone, those are big traumatic effects. After those events happen, Kawaki escapes, activates the omnipotence through Ada's abilities, and all of the stuff that happened between Boruto and Kawaki have been completely flipped among both characters. Once she finds out about the omnipotence, time hasn't really passed that much ever since Boruto got the scar. Sarada hears that, yo, Boruto killed the 7th Hokage. Let's not forget, Sarada looks up to Naruto. This has been established since episode 20 of the Boruto anime. Literally, what, chapter 1 of the Boruto manga? Hearing that basically her idol, the person that she looks up to, has been quote-unquote killed by her best friend, that's heart-wrenching, and we see it. We see Sarada basically break down, and she knows that Boruto isn't the villain here. The fact the entire village is going to try to hunt down Boruto, with the fact that Sasuke comes to tell Sarada, I'm going to take down Boruto, I'm going to pack his ass up, I'm going to get my get back. Sarada tells him, please help Boruto. All of the stuff that has happened in the past 15 chapters post-Code battle, right, has been building up on Sarada's mental. Let me put it this way, if Sarada unlocked the Mangekyou Sharingan that is similar to the likes of Sasuke, Itachi, Obito, Shisui, Madara, it would have basically contradicted what Naruto and Sasuke were striving for, to end the cycle of hatred. The whole stone tablet that the Uchiha was following would be re-manipulated even though Zetsu was killed off. The cycle is over. The stone tablet has been reversed to its original true state now that Zetsu is gone. And I think it makes sense for Sarada's character because she is a completely different character compared to Sasuke, Itachi, Madara. She's a 12-year-old girl. Come on, bro. Growing up in a peaceful time, eating burgers with the boys. That's what she's doing. I understand why some people are saying it's a little bit underwhelming, but for the most part, in my opinion, I just feel like it just makes sense. The only critique I have for the Mangekyou Awakening in this chapter is I would have liked to see a little bit slower progression, and what I mean by that is the paneling. He tends to get to the action shot a little bit too quickly, and I feel like when it comes to unlocking the Mangekyou, we've seen, you know, with Kishimoto, with how much of a god he is with his art, the slow progression of somebody unlocking the Mangekyou. I think a perfect example of this is something like Obito and Kakashi, for example, right? We saw them go from 2 tomo to Mangekyou immediately. However, we saw the slow process from 2 tomo to 3 tomo to the transformation of the Mangekyou design to finally getting the Mangekyou. I think her unlocking the Mangekyou makes sense. I think slowing the panels down would have hit the transformation more. And in my opinion, it does work, but I feel like it would hit even more if Ikimoto tends to slow down the panels. But overall, I think writing wise, it's still solid. Oh man, let's move on. With the omnipotence happening in this chapter, Sasuke does realize that his memory may have been manipulated. And that's the one thing I really liked in this chapter. I'm glad that they touched upon like some of the minor things that happened between the swap with Boruto and Kawaki. Now that Kawaki was in Boruto's position, there were some things that haven't been parsed out yet. Now that everybody thinks that Kawaki is the hero of the Hidden Leaf Village, now that Kawaki is in the position of Boruto, wouldn't it make sense for Kawaki to be the vessel of Momoshiki and also a user of the Rasengan, which we all know the truth is he doesn't know that, of course. But with that being said, Sasuke quickly points that out. Momoshiki is actually inside of Boruto, and for some odd reason, Sasuke has the ability to actually sense Momo, as he does say, "Yo Momo, I know you're there." And that's the one thing that's really interesting. Sasuke does understand some of the specifics aren't really adding up, such as the headband, for example. According to the story that Sasuke has through Ada's omnipotence, he gave his headband to Kawaki, and after hearing those words from Sasuke, Momoshiki becomes incredibly irritated. With the omnipotence happening, we saw last chapter Momoshiki talking his shit, bro. As we saw in this chapter, Boruto does admit that he's down and out, but he does have some hope, and Momoshiki is mad as shit, saying, "Yo, stop being a sore loser, stop being weak as shit, hurry up and give me your body." Pause. And we see it's not going his way, and he even mentions that Boruto has a crazy mental resolve, which is true. He has maintained his composure, and that's the one thing that Momoshiki is waiting to prey on. The day that Boruto gives up, loses that willpower, does not have that mental resolve anymore, Momoshiki will swap bodies. And what I've noticed earlier in the chapter is that when Boruto was confronted by Team 10, Momoshiki told Boruto straight up, "Swap bodies with me, I can take down everybody if you want." Meaning that Momo is on demon timing. I'm telling you, the day that Boruto breaks down and just gives up his body and Momoshiki takes over and continues to live as him, we're going to see a lot of people die. And even though Boruto does admit that he is crushed by the events that has just happened, he is not down and out. He has not given up, and that's not something Momoshiki does like. Ada does drop by and apologize to Boruto for everything that does happen. What I did miss in the chapter, some of you guys did mention in the chat, according to Ada, Kawaki has become a coward. However, now that Boruto is in the position of Kawaki, he's basically put in Naruto's place when he was a young kid. As Sasuke stated toward the end of the chapter, Naruto had nothing. Just like the current Boruto, he was shunned by many people, and once he became Hokage, he proved himself through his actions, which Boruto talked himself up that, "Yo, I'm just like my dad, bro," and saying that just like my father, I gotta turn this rivalry I got with my brother into a regular quarrel. I gotta beat my brother up to the point where he gotta realize that he can't kill me no more. We gotta get on equal terms. I think this chapter really ended off on a bang, with even Damon saying that, "Yo, you gotta get a lot stronger to the point where you'll be able to fight me at full power," implying that, yo, we might even get a training arc. At the end of the chapter, we see Code. He has been affected by the omnipotence, saying that you shall pay with your life Boruto instead of Kawaki. Now that everything has flipped, Code most likely won't head to the Hidden Leaf Village since Ada and Damon are there, as stated by his words a couple chapters ago. And now that everything has flipped and that Boruto is in this position, that 10 Tails army isn't heading toward the Leaf Village. It's heading toward Boruto, alongside with Konoha and with Kawaki. The information that was presented was great. I did mention in previous videos that if you kill the user of the omnipotence, would that reverse the effects? We did see in the chapter per Momo's words that if you do kill the caster, the effects of the omnipotence will remain the same, meaning that whatever happens for the rest of the series will most likely keep Boruto as the villain and Kawaki as the hero. So let me know how you guys feel about this video in the comment section below. How do you guys feel about Boruto Chapter 80? And most importantly, how did you feel about Sarada's Mangekyou Sharingan? So let me know how you guys feel about this video in the comment section below. So if you like this video, hit that like button, subscribe, hit the bell as well, and have a good day. Peace.